You're lying in bed. Your partner is next to you. The door is closed. The lights are off. Imagine you come home after a long day. You go into your room, close the door, lock it, put your phone on silent, and finally, you have privacy. But now imagine going back thousands of years. No doors, no locks, no do not disturb sign, no headphones, and definitely no private room where you can hide from your family. So the real question is, how did ancient humans actually get any privacy? Because imagine trying to have a serious conversation while your entire family is sitting 3 feet away. Okay, I need to tell you something very important. What? Come closer. We are already sitting next to each other. Closer. Today, we're going back thousands of years to find out how ancient humans managed to get privacy, or at least something that looked like privacy. Thought, I need my own room. Instead, privacy may have meant a quiet corner, a short walk, a curtain, a private conversation, or a few moments away from the group. And honestly, maybe that was enough. Because imagine living thousands of years ago. You have no phone, no internet, no social media, and no notifications. Nobody is texting you. Where are you? Why aren't you replying? Or are you mad at me? So in some ways, ancient people had less physical privacy, but perhaps more digital privacy than we do today. An ancient person could sit peacefully beside a river and think, finally, nobody can contact me. Meanwhile, a modern person looks at their phone and sees 47 notifications and says, I want to live in a cave. Then the cave makes a loud bear sound, and they immediately change their mind. So, how did ancient humans have privacy? They used curtains, separate spaces, quiet corners, nature, distance, and sometimes they simply waited until everybody else was asleep. It was not perfect. There were no locks, no soundproof walls, and definitely no do not disturb mode. But ancient humans still found ways to create small moments of privacy. And maybe the funniest part is that even thousands of years ago, humans were probably still trying to escape their families for 5 minutes. So the next time you close your bedroom door and say, I just need some privacy, remember that your ancient ancestors probably understood that feeling perfectly. They just had to walk into the forest to get it, and hope there wasn't a bear. And the things they did that are surprisingly similar to us today. Because apparently, humans have always been humans, even when their bedroom was just a mat, and their privacy was just a curtain. Privacy also depended on your social status. Not everyone had the same level of privacy. If you were a wealthy person or a ruler, you could have a larger house, more rooms, servants, and separate areas for sleeping, bathing, and relaxing. Imagine a rich ancient person saying, I need privacy. The servant asks, which room would you like? The rich person asks, which one is the quietest? And the servant replies, we have 47. Now compare that with a poor family living in a small home. Someone says, I need privacy. The family asks, where should you go? And everyone realizes that this is actually a very good question. So, just like today, privacy was often connected to wealth. The more space you had, the easier it was to be alone. But the biggest mistake we make is thinking ancient humans wanted privacy exactly the way we do today. Their lives were completely different. They lived in small communities, depended on each other for survival, worked together, ate together, protected each other, and raised children together. Being alone for long periods could actually be dangerous. So ancient humans may not have constantly. Now let's talk about something modern people definitely do not want to share with the entire family, the bathroom. Today, most people expect a bathroom to have a door. But ancient sanitation systems were very different. Some ancient cities had public toilets, and yes, sometimes people literally sat next to each other. Imagine one ancient person saying, hello, and another replying, hello. The first person says, nice weather today, and the second person says, please stop talking. This is one of those moments where we realize that ancient people had a completely different idea of personal privacy. For them, using the bathroom was not always something that had to happen behind a locked door. Some places were social. People could talk, discuss business, and exchange news. Basically, it was the ancient version of a group chat, except nobody could mute the conversation. Of course, not every ancient person had to use a public toilet. People living in rural areas could simply go somewhere private outdoors. And honestly, nature provided a lot of privacy, as long as there wasn't a lion nearby. Complete privacy. Then suddenly, a bear roars. The ancient person immediately says, Actually, I prefer my family. Of course, ancient people also needed to have private conversations. They had secrets, arguments, romantic conversations, family problems, and probably gossip. Yes, people have been gossiping since before written history. Imagine two ancient women standing near a fire. One says, "Did you hear what happened to the woman from the next village?" The other says, "No. Tell me everything." The first woman says, "Come closer." The other asks, "Why?" And she replies, "Because her cousin is standing right there." The cousin slowly turns around and says, "I can't hear you." The woman responds, "Then come closer too." The truth is, ancient people probably used distance, quiet areas, and timing to have private conversations. If you wanted to talk privately, you waited until the other person was not around, or you simply walked away from the group. The technology was very simple. Feet. No encrypted messaging, no disappearing messages, and no private chat. Just, let's go somewhere nobody can hear us. The easiest way to get privacy was simple: leave the house. Ancient people spent a lot of time outside. They worked in fields, went hunting, collected food, traveled, visited markets, and sometimes probably just walked away from everyone. Imagine living in a small house with your entire family. After a few hours, you might say, "I am going for a walk." Your family asks, "Why?" And you say, "For peace." They ask, "What?" And you shout, "I said I am going for a walk." Then you walk several hundred meters away. Suddenly, no one is asking you questions, no one is touching your belongings, and no one is asking where you are going, because you are already gone. This may have been one of the easiest ways ancient humans could get some alone time. Nature was basically their private room. A forest, a hill, a quiet field, or even a cave could give someone some distance from the rest of the community. Although, the cave came with one major problem. Imagine an ancient person entering a cave and saying, "Finally." Let's talk about one of the biggest problems: sleeping. Today, if you want privacy, you can go to your bedroom, close the door, and maybe lock it. But ancient people often did not even have a separate bedroom. Sometimes, an entire family slept in the same space. And if you were very poor, your bed might not even be a real bed. It could be a mat on the floor, a pile of animal skins, or a simple platform. Now imagine trying to sleep peacefully while your brother is snoring beside you. You turn around and try to sleep, but then your baby sister starts crying. Then someone gets up because they heard a strange noise outside, and suddenly everybody is awake. "Did you hear that?" someone asks. "Yes." "What was it?" "You're snoring." "Oh. So how did ancient people get privacy?" Sometimes, they used curtains, screens, partitions, or separate areas inside the home. It wasn't complete privacy, but at least you could create a small barrier between yourself and everyone else. Basically, the ancient version of closing your bedroom door, except instead of a solid wooden door, a world where you can close a door and be completely alone, where you can go days without seeing another person, where privacy is so common that we've forgotten what it cost. For 290,000 years, humans were never alone. Then we invented walls, and we've been lonely ever since.